Hi, and welcome to Class 8 of Science Fiction Filmmaking 101. In my second film, 2036 Origin Unknown, I went for a more futuristic setting to the world building by utilising a more cold, slick, technology-driven visual approach to the interior architecture of the film, to really reflect the plot of artificial intelligence being the source of control. Now, because none of this actually exists today, we had to build it all from scratch, hence the bigger production budget on this film compared to my first film, The Beyond. I spent around 6 months or more working closely with the production designer to design what the future of mission control would look like, as if it was run predominantly by a robot and one human being. We used Previs extensively to mock up what the set would look like and tested how far we can push the camera moves in the contained set, and also what would that look like. The cinematographer was heavily involved with this process from the beginning with myself and the production designer, and was able to make suggestions on areas where he could place his cameras and lighting rigs as part of the set build. Because of the contained nature of the film, spatial awareness was the recurring element throughout the production design process, and therefore we created the set like a theatre set to allow the actors to move around freely. So we built a full 360-degree set, with the only thing not built was the ceiling, which we used to place lighting rigs on. As you can see, we used no green screen, and everything on the set was tactile, meaning the actor can touch and interact with as part of a performance. We used the backlight of the text screens on the surrounding walls to help light the set, which meant we can hide the light source behind the screens to do so. In the film, our character Mac has regular conversations with her sister via video conferencing. For the location of her sister, we built a flat wall set and a desk, to give the illusion that we were watching a video conference from a computer screen. Even adding things like the logo in the background, the window blinds and the office plants really helped sell the illusion without actually having to shoot in an office location, meaning we kept this all in the same stage as the other stuff to avoid travelling and other logistic costs. Throughout the film, there are moments where the characters are having drama and conversation inside an elevator. Now, because of the way I wanted to capture all the angles of the scenes, and plus the size of the camera rigs we were using, we ended up building a lift interior with movable wall panels to shoot from. Again, this was all done in the same large stage we were shooting at. For one of the big mystery reveals in the film, I wanted to do a single one-er shot, which would then lead to a more claustrophobic scene. For that, we built a tall tower out of scaffolding and then used a camera rig along with a Movi rig to slowly bring the camera down as the actor was making her way down the tunnel. For the claustrophobic air shaft scenes, we built horizontal tunnels which had detachable sides for us to track along with the actress as she crawls through. This actually required a lot of planning, as doing resets for each of those takes would take time for the actor to get back to her starting position. I love cool, obscure angles, so for this shot we placed the camera underneath the crate and raised the crate up. Even though it was a quick shot, it really helps break up the edit with variety. The core aesthetics of the mission control set is the large screen in front and the surrounding wall screens, all displaying graphics and colours which help light the set. Now, originally we were going to have real playback LCD screens on set, but due to budgetary reasons we couldn't have those. So what we did instead was use lino printed material of the graphics I created, and then we backlit those. Now, we had several versions of those lino printed material graphics which we can swap out dependent on the scene context. This would of course require a military style planning, where we would assign each area of graphics its own specification for things like the table graphics, the wall screen graphics, and of course the main big screen. Now, we would number those, and then on the day the art department team would check the script for the number referencing of what graphics are required for the scene and quickly swap those out with the required printed graphics. But before doing all of that, in pre-production we would test all of this via Previs by doing what we would be doing on set, swapping out the graphics to see how it all looks and make the placement decisions here in Previs and not on the shoot day. Our set builds didn't just include building interior scenes, they also included one big exterior scene too, and because once again we didn't want to move the crew and actors out of the large stage we were shooting, we took a small section of the stage and built a mini desert area with bushes, etc., and then added LED lights on a wall for tracking purposes. We then later added green screen just to cover the area where the actor would be walking towards.